Let us go over some new. Oh yeah, here's the riots right here. Yeah, they're just going on the fucking freeway. And then trying to start shit on the freeway. The DC shorts actually got out there. And here's another one. This is where they broke in. Yeah. They just started going on there. Some people are all like, yeah, we're not gonna do that. But then others were like, yeah, we're going. Oh yeah, here's the aftermath, basically. We can kind of fast forward. But yeah, this is what happened right here. They kind of went up on the fucking freeway right here. Right. This is this is their live feed.
It looks like LAPD. I just want to make sure. Yeah, they're LAPD. No, California Highway Patrol.
I mean, I can. I'll just put this on. Yeah, this is their live feed. So this. I don't know how long this is in, but it's like.
Yep. Thank you, sir.
Seems like an hour, 40 minutes or some shit.
And a rough estimate, I'm gonna go with about.
Yeah, they fucking blocked the freeway. And then the cops have to go down there now to fucking get them out. And they were about to leave too, and then they did this shit. And then they go on the other side and then block the other fucking side. And the cops are just like, God damn it. Alright, that's it. And then they start throwing shit at the cops, and it's just like, you motherfuckers. Yeah, it's like, oh, well, we gotta get the gear on now. Yeah.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
Mark and Giovanna.
Get the
how much fuel do we have?
I like blocking this guy. He's like, oh shit, man. I don't want to hit anybody. I gotta go, man.
Hey there,
I gotta work
we've got
and
about 20 to 25 minutes, just FYI.
shit. Yeah, as you can see, they're like, they keep blocking. They can't. Unfortunately, the police officers have to block them. They can't. I mean, they could potentially move up, but they can't. They have to wait till these guys fucking move back. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, no. Now they can close. Yeah, right. Now they can close it.
That's right, Mark. After a motion mostly peaceful protest all afternoon. The dispersal
Mostly peaceful.
order was given. A large group of a couple hundred protesters began to move away from Alameda Street, but in the last
until
2
they
minutes,
start
about
blocking
100 of
everyone
them
here.
have now made their way through a fence and onto the 101 freeway. Now,
Yeah, they
CHP
even
has
blocked
been very
out
quick
some of
to form
the
a skirmish line
section
on
of the
freeway.
highway
The
just
group
in
briefly
case,
went
but they
to
still
the other
fucking
side
pushed
of the
in.
freeway, the southbound side, and now you see things
Oh,
becoming
get
more
fucking
confrontational
caught.
here
They
as
got
they
one.
really tried to
Oh,
push
they
this
got a
group
sucker.
off to the side,
Oh,
off
I'm
this,
sorry,
off of the southbound
motherfucker. You
side.
got
You
pulled.
can see
As
this
soon
one
as
person
someone
really
got
putting
pulled
up
in, they
a
were
bit of
just
a
like,
fight
oh
here, but
shit,
you can
fuck
see
that.
they are really making some serious headway here. As just a few moments ago, look at this, it's turning into a brawl down there.
Oh, you want to go? Back up. You want to go too? You back the fuck.
I mean, all day long we've been watching them peacefully exercise
they
their
got
First
one
Amendment rights, but
person.
now they are
They
in
got
a
one
confrontation
person.
with California Highway Patrol, really putting up a fight. People starting, you can see this one
I
person
forgot
really
they
putting
got
up
one
a bit of a
person right
fight.
here.
Now you can see it to the other side of the freeway, the southbound side.
Boom.
And now you see
Gotcha,
it's
dude.
becoming more confrontational here as they really try to push this group off to the side.
That could have been
off
Hassan
of the
right there.
southbound side. You can see this one person really putting up a bit of a fight here, but you can see they are really
Get on the
making some
ground,
serious headway
motherfucker.
here.
Get
As
on the
just a few
ground.
moments ago, look at this, it's turning into a brawl down there. Starting to get a bit ugly as they really push this crowd off the freeway. For I tell you, I mean, all day long we've been watching them peacefully exercise their First Amendment
Yes.
rights, but now they are in a confrontation.
Fiery,
Looks like
but
a large-
peacefully.
Right in
But yeah, they stopped
Came on
them from coming
freeway.
in.
this group here.
They pushed them all the way back a little bit. Now they're moving away. Look at what this dumb bitch said.
This is just absolutely unnecessary. People have asked me, what are the Marines going to do when they get here? That's a good question. I have no idea. The National Guard, they're here
What
now,
are the
have one
Marines gonna do?
assignment,
They're
and that
just
is to
they're
protect
gonna watch you
one
guys
building,
and make
which
sure
is
you're
the
not gonna
federal
fucking
building
start some.
downtown.
That's what
The
they're gonna
second
do.
building, which is the federal building on Westwood Boulevard. And as far as I know, nothing has happened in Westwood at all. So this was not needed. The idea that the administration
It's
would
not
usurp
needed.
the
Oh, really?
authority
When
of
3
our
or
state
4
government,
days
take it
straight, they were
away
like
from,
stealing
our
and
governor,
fucking
Gavin
up
Newsom.
buildings and stealing
the
shit.
governor knows that if he
Expensive
that
shit
if
too.
we put
They
a
were like
request
going
in
into like
for the
they went
National
into the
Guard and it
Apple
went to
store
him,
yesterday
he
night.
would comply.
They
There was
fucked up
never
a
an
gas
issue there
station.
because we were never thinking about
Right.
calling upon
They
the
apparently
National Guard.
went
So I
into
do
a
want you to know that the
pharmacy,
violence that has happened
a weed
has
pharmacy.
required LAPD to ask for additional assistance, but not from the federal government. We are a county of 88 cities. There's a number of police departments in those cities, and we have the sheriff's department. And so we have received assistance from the California Highway Patrol. I mentioned the sheriffs from Orange County, San Bernardino, Riverside, Santa Barbara, Ventura County, and a number of law enforcement departments. So with Jim,
Yeah, no, I say we just get the fucking the FBI to just smack her up. Get it over with. Oh yeah, this happened with the LA school superintendent.
Who in their right mind would accept that reality? So I want to be reassuring to our community. Every single graduation site is a protected site.
Oh, really? What? Huh?
I have
How does
directed
that work?
our own police force to redouble their efforts and establish perimeters of safety around
Highways are not
graduation sites to intervene and
how is a highway
interfere
you know how easy it is
any
to get into a
federal
fucking car
agency
crash?
who may
Very
want
easy.
to take action during these joyous times that we call graduation. Not on our watch.
And then we have a former student opens fire at a Strand school. Kills at least 9. This happened today.
At least 9 people were killed and 12 wounded in a shooting at a school in the Austrian city of Graz today. Officials saying the suspected shooter also died. According to authorities, a 21-year-old Austrian man who had 2 weapons shot 9 people at a high school half a mile from Graz's historical center. The man then reportedly turned the gun on himself. The Australian Interior Minister, I should say, said at a press conference that the shooter was a former student at the school who didn't finish his studies. Police deployed in large numbers with police and other emergency vehicles guarding the area around the school. The incident remains under investigation.
No
immigrants who were detained here in
the Marines is, a lot of people think, an escalation.
In
international headlines, authorities say a gunman opened fire at a high school in Austria, killing 9 people before taking his own life. It's the worst school shooting in the country's modern history. CBS's Tina Kraus reports from London.
Police say a 21-year-old gunman started shooting at students and teachers just a couple hours into the day at a high school in the Austrian city of Graz. This spokesman says special forces were called in after reports of shots fired. Authorities say the attacker, a former student who didn't graduate, carried 2 guns and killed at least 9 people before taking his own life in a school bathroom.
We stand together in mourning, and while we seek clarity in the wake of this horrible event in a school.
It all unfolded in Austria's second largest city, just over 100 miles from the capital of Vienna. Shootings are rare in the region where gun ownership is tightly regulated. Austria's chancellor calls the shooting a national
there's so many that happens in the U.S. Why did it happen here?
Shut the fuck up. The country is
happen
feeling.
anywhere, you fucking
Tina
dumbass.
Kraus, CBS News, London.
Or any of those fucking stupid retard idiots coming to the fucking chat saying some stupid shit. But the U.S. has all the shooters. Shut the fuck up. No. Always blaming the U.S. for your own fucking bullshit. What is this? Is Gavin Newsom making things worse in LA? Yes, he is.
Nick Wilson, who's spokesman for the Los Angeles Sheriff's Professional
Same with Karen Bass.
These are not peaceful protesters. These are not demonstrators. These are riotous thugs.
The governor of California told me yesterday, and the mayor of Los Angeles told me yesterday, that violence is not okay, that we're not going to accept this sort of thing, that we need to crack down on these thugs and anarchists, and idiots is the word that the governor used. So it's happening now. So when are we going to crack down? What's the time to make that call?
That's a great point.
There's a fire now that's being set.
Unfortunately, the governor of California.
Oh, there's the car that they burned down. Oh yeah, that was the car that was on fire.
Adding fuel to the flames. His rhetoric is one thing. What he says is one thing. What he does is another. He is absolutely part of the problem.
Yeah, this was the car that was burning last night at the end of the stream that we were looking at. I was like, wait, is that a car?
The green light to allow fire to come in and put.
At the start of the night, it looked like a white luxury car, and then they fucking burned it. Oh, are they? Oh yeah, here they are. They're breaking the fucking sidewalk right here.
If our parking meter goes 2 minutes too long, there's a ticket right there. How does that happen? I mean, who are we protecting? What are our priorities right now as a society that this guy's allowed to hack the sidewalk?
I would look at the chief of police
They're
of
trying
Los
to make
Angeles,
some
and I would look
fucking
at the
rocks to
sheriff
throw
of
at
LA
people
County, and I would ask those two people those very serious questions, because this could be ended right now. Look at what you're seeing. This looks like a third world country right now.
Why not move in and arrest some of these people?
Mayor Bass, county officials within the county of Los Angeles, city officials within the city of Los Angeles do not want to assist federal law enforcement agencies upon a call for help and assistance to maintain order because they don't want to be seen as being involved in immigration raids. This is not an immigration raid. At this point, this is a response to maintain public order. Our hearts and prayers go out to every single deputy sheriff right now that are just absolutely exhausted and watching this unfold. They are working mandatory overtime. We've had, at least within the LA County Sheriff's Department, 14 suicides. You're working mandatory back-to-back doubles and triples. We've got multiple members right now that are working up to 12 days straight.
There's
This
just
is
another
not
dude
sustainable.
fucking just
I
starting a
think that,
fire for some
the
reason.
chief of Los Angeles is taking orders from Mayor Bass.
Just
And I
always
think that
starting
Luna,
fucking fires, man.
Sheriff of Los Angeles County, unfortunately, does not know how to respond to this because this is
Just taking
absolutely
shit
a
and starting
repeat of what
fires.
he did when he was chief of Long Beach Police Department, when he allowed his city to burn to the ashes and people were affected in ways that have left them devastated ever since.
And it's my job to clean up Donald Trump's mess
Yeah,
because he's making it by the
yeah,
hour.
all of
This
this
is
is
Donald
to blame
Trump's
on
mess.
Donald
But it's
Trump.
clear that things aren't
Yeah,
totally
Donald
under
Trump
control
caused
right now.
this.
That's right,
Somebody's
because he's
failing.
created
Donald
the conditions.
Trump
He's
caused
exacerbated
these
the conditions.
people to decide to go
This is
walk
Donald
up on the
Trump's.
highway.
These are images that Donald
Start
Trump
hitting
created.
police
What you
officers
see
with
in your
bricks
nightly
and
news
broken,
is Donald Trump's
broken
making.
stones
He's
and
here
rocks.
for war. He
Big
wants
enough
a civil
to
war
fucking
on the streets.
right do some
Founding fathers are rolling over their
real
graves
fucked
right now
up
watching
damage.
this.
By the way.
This is serious. This is this.
They were
He
fucking
is
up
not
cars.
the same person that I
They're
dealt
burning
with
cars.
just 4 years ago.
Like, they were
And
they
he's
were starting
incapable
fights
now of
with
even
just
a train of
normal
thought.
people.
He's
Like, these
making
people are
things
unhinged as fuck.
up.
Oh, that's super unhinged. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, is a Hyundai? That's the car that got fucking burned down.
Just getting news into our newsroom, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass has just announced a curfew that is going into effect for a 1 square mile of the city. You'll see a lot of protesters in this particular intersection where these officers are standing here. Now, the protests have been centered the last 5 nights in the downtown area, so that is where this curfew will be in effect. It's going to run from 8 at night.
As more emergency request asking block the new streets is should be some writing quote sending trained war fighters onto the streets is unprecedented and threatens the very core of our democracy.
Have you seen what they were fucking doing? Some of those people were trying to fucking start some shit. Shut the fuck up. Fucking retard. You're lucky none of them had fucking weapons on them. I mean, they were throwing weapons, essentially. They were throwing rocks that essentially were weapons. Yeah. And then we got this going on.
Some immigrants who were detained here in Southern California over the weekend have already been deported. Mexico's foreign minister says 4 immigrants who were detained in Friday's ICE raid in LA's Fashion District arrived in Mexico less than 48 hours later. Some advocates call the speed of their deportation, quote, unusual. The Department of Homeland Security has not said how many immigrants they have detained in the raid so far, but says at least 16 people who were captured had extensive criminal history. Immigrant advocacy groups say more than 200 people who were detained did not have criminal records.
Yeah, well, now they do. Well, now they do have criminal records because they were breaking the law. Yeah, you see how that works out? Oh, shit. Oh, here we go. Let's see what Trump has to say.
The Marines is, a lot of people think, an escalatory step, though. These are guys who fight wars. Are you at all concerned that things could get out of hand with Marines
when I see people
American City?
Throwing concrete into cars, when I see people, the kind of people that I saw on your network doing danger to the police and to the military and to the National Guard, no, it's okay. You know, you start running out of people when you have 2,000 people from a National Guard standpoint. We have a very big military, but the National Guard, they needed a little extra help, and we sent them a little, and we did a great job last night. We had, well, you got a lot of cars go up in smoke and flame, and a lot of bad scenes, but it was it was pretty minor by comparison. This morning it's very calm. We'll see what happens later. But they know if they go there, they're not going to get anywhere because we have the National Guard there. We backed it up with a number of Marines,
Yeah, notice how today barely any shit happened. But the last 4 days, right? The other days, yeah, a lot of shit was happening. They were burning cars, hitting up fucking, right, buildings to steal shit from, right, looting, getting into fights with people. Almost trying to hold up hostages, basically, at the highways.
You spoke with Governor Newsom.
You wanna talk about real kidnapping?
Called him up.
Yeah,
Got to do a better job. He's doing a bad job, causing a lot of death and a lot of potential death. If we didn't send out the National Guard, and last night we gave him a little additional help, you would have Los Angeles would be burning right now. Los Angeles would be not a lot different than what you saw take place in California and Los Angeles just a little while ago. And, you know, you got to remember, we have the Olympics coming, and we don't want people looking at Los Angeles like it would have been. It would have been bad. Last night, they had total control. If we didn't have the military in there, the National Guard, and then we also sent in some Marines, we had some bad people. We have people, they look in your face and they spit right in your face. They're animals. And these are paid insurrectionists. These are paid troublemakers. They're agitators. They're paid. Do you think somebody walks up to a curb and starts hammering pieces out, has all the equipment necessary, and starts handing it out to people to use as a weapon? These are paid insurrectionists or agitators or troublemakers.
Oh, he dropped the word.
Whatever you want.
He dropped
and we
the
ended
word.
It, and
he
we
said
have in
it.
custody some very bad people. Some very bad people.
Mr. President.
Did you see the guy throwing rocks at the police cars?
Open up!
And crushing their windows and endangering our police? We're not going to let that happen, yeah.
Pardon me, Mr. President, on those Marines, Governor Newsom has described them as political pawns. I'm curious for your reaction to that and what you see as the Marines' role and what are their rules of engagement?
All I want is safety. I just want a safe area. We have Los Angeles was under siege.
You know what the rules of
of
engagement are?
The police were unable to handle it. You can speak to the chief. He said it on television.
These are the rules of engagement.
3 nights ago, he said, this is more than we can handle. They said that. And the LA police, I know a lot of the police in LA, they're great people. But
these are the
instructions
rules.
not to do this, not to do that. But in this case, they were trying their best. They were not able to handle it. It was out of control. When we got there, and you have to remember, I've been here before, and I went right by every rule, and I waited for governors to say, send in the National Guard. They wouldn't do it.
Why would he wait? Just like just like what happened on January 6th when Nancy Pelosi said no. He should have just fucking sent them, to be honest. But she was just like, oh no, don't send them. Oh, well, too bad now, bitch.
It just wouldn't do it. It kept going on
Now you're
and on.
fucking paying
Got
them.
worse and worse. And in Minneapolis, that city was burning down. It was 7 days, and I said, I don't care. The governor, who's a governor that just happened to be running for vice president, a total, you talk about an incompetent governor. He's an incompetent person. That he was picked, well, I was actually very happy he was picked for other reasons. But this guy wouldn't call the National Guard. And we ultimately just sent in the National Guard.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you call in the National Guard as right for something that you could just squash in a fucking heartbeat? Like it'd be so easy just to stop it, just to tell people, hey, you keep fucking doing illegal shit, you're gonna get put in the fucking ground.
We stopped it, but that was after 7 days. And I said to myself,
well,
if
you're
that
gonna be
stuff
sent to
happens
the fucking
again,
mines, really.
We've got to make faster decisions because they don't want to do it. The radical left, it's usually radical left, and it's usually governors that are Democrat, and they don't want to call them in. They don't want to save lives. They don't want to save property. They don't want to call them in. I don't know what it is.
Yep.
We sent them in, not early. We sent them in late as far as I'm concerned. But big problems, as you know, 3 nights ago, big problems
Yeah,
were
sent
ensuing.
it in, what,
If we
day
didn't
3
send
or
in the
4?
National Guard quickly, right now, Los Angeles would be burning to the ground.
The Marines is, a lot of people think, an escalatory step, though. These are guys who fight wars. Are you at all concerned that things could get out of hand with Marines?
When I see people...
Alright, we already saw this part, but yeah, I put that in the document. The Forbes one we saw had this part in it. Here's more Maxine Waters on the protest.
The protests, and even those who were out of step with what we are advocating, peaceful protest, did not create any violence. Nobody was shot, nobody was killed. Get it in your head.
This is beyond me.
And so, when martial law is called, what are you going to say? I missed the point. Don't miss the point, you all. Don't think that somehow, because they called out the National Guard, there was violence. There was no violence.
You mad at me? Mad? No, they ain't mad.
FBI, open up, motherfucker. Speaker Johnson just ended Gavin Newsom too. Yeah, Speaker Johnson talked about this a little bit. Let's see what he has.
The president said, possibly in jest, that if he were Tom Homan, he would have Gavin Newsom. Do you believe that Newsom should face consequences?
Look, that's not my lane. I'm not going to give you legal analysis on whether Gavin Newsom should be arrested, but he ought to be.
Should be.
That. I mean,
wait. Why do you have to? Why do you have to fucking bleep out arrest just so you don't get caught in some kind of bullshit? Is YouTube doing this? Who's doing this? Is this Google? Who's the censor? It's probably censorship on Google's part. What a fucking backwards. Fuck you, Google. I hope you take a fucking bullet in the skull.
Look, he's standing in the way of the administration and the carrying out of federal law. Right? He is applauding the bad guys and standing in the way of the good guys. He is trying to. He's a participant, an accomplice in our federal law enforcement agents being not just disrespected, but
yeah, I hate to say it, but he is literally on the same side as defunding the police if he's in fact doing this kind of shit. Right? He's literally telling the police not to do anything and to allow criminal activity. Fuck that.
Really?
Get the fuck out of here.
This is a serious problem, and the governor is now filing a lawsuit against the president. What a joke.
Okay,
do your
yeah.
job, man. That's what I tell Gavin Newsom. Do your
It's
job.
always,
Stop working on your
every
rebranding.
fucking time there's
and
a
be
fucking
governor.
riot with California, it always turns into
Stand up for the rule
stupid
of
shit
law.
sometimes.
He's not doing that. So I don't know what the ultimate measure will be there, but I know that in the interim time, the
it's
President
always
of the United
these
States is showing
fucking
real
few
leadership.
agitators
And
that
we're not
fucking
going to allow
always cause so much
We've seen this
bullshit.
movie before, right? This thing gets out of hand real quickly, especially in a big city like that. And if local and state officials are unwilling or unable to do their job, the President of the United States will do his, and we support that fully.
Yeah, and they could be getting paid too. I mean, they've been putting fucking like Craigslist fucking bounties and shit. Yeah, and then this is what
Continues in Los Angeles. A CBS
deportation
News
is like,
poll conducted
apparently.
before the protests reveals most people feel positive
All,
about the Trump administration's
all of this because
deportation
they
plans.
apparently were upset
54%
with
of people said
ICE
they approve of the
agents, by the
president's
way,
program to
in
deport
the
people
whole,
in the country
California
illegally, while
bullshit.
46% disapprove. We conducted this poll between June 4th and June 6th. So just as mentioned, before these protests erupted in Los Angeles, CBS News Executive Director of Elections and Surveys, Anthony Salvanto, joins us. So Anthony, explain this to us. What's shaping the public's views on immigration?
So there's two really pivotal points here, Tom. Let me show you this. First, it's who do people think the administration is prioritizing for deportation? Now, if folks think, as 53% of the country does, the administration is prioritizing people they think are dangerous criminals.
Well,
they
yeah,
strongly
that's what he
support
said he
the
was
program,
doing.
and also they're a big part
do you know how
of
many
this
fucking
42% who think the program.
Do you want to see? I'm gonna pull up them fucking pictures. Don't make me pull up them fucking pictures. Cause there's tons of they had it right. I know this is just a meme one, but these ones are real. Don't care about the fucking no, big booty Latina. Don't care about her, right? But these two, all right, these guys are real. They put these up all along the White House fucking lawn. These are illegal motherfuckers. That's one instance. Another instance. Where's the other one? Oh yeah, they allowed this happen to in fucking the Tesla fires, right? The Tesla bombings and trying to attack Elon. Allowed that shit. Oh yeah, look at all these fucking retards do causing shit. Fuck, where? Damn it, I gotta have fucking pictures. Oh, I don't know, where is it? Oh, here it is. This is the other one, right? So it's like, how can you say that? Fucking idiot. You're gonna protect these fucking shady ass motherfuckers? Are you kidding me? All of you should go find this shotgun and just put it to your dome.
Program is making the U.S. safer as opposed to less safe. But if they don't think that's who they're prioritizing, they don't support it. The second big point here is how many. And so I ask people, well, is this more people than you expected during the campaign? The president and the candidate president talked about doing this program. Is this what you expected? More people, or about what you expected? Thing is, the folks who say this is more people being targeted for deportation, well, they, and I'll show you this crosstab, are actually less approving of the program overall. So it's that, well, maybe this is more than they expected, and that turns them towards disapproval. Whereas, and this is really strong, a lot of support from his political base, from Republicans, from the right, if this is what they expected, 2/3 approval.
You know, there are a lot of financial questions that also go into this. What, if any, impact is the president's program having on the economy or Americans' view of the economy?
And it's so important because we're in a situation right now where Most folks still say they think the U.S. economy is bad, but it's gotten a little better in their minds since it hit lows this winter, right? So it's a sort of sensitive, maybe uncertain situation. But more people say they think this deportation program would make the U.S. economy weaker as opposed to stronger. Some of this pivots on what people think that immigration does to U.S. jobs. Does it take jobs from Americans? Does it fill jobs Americans won't do? That turns a lot on this, too. And then a big part of this is the goals versus the approach. And look at this difference. More people say they like the administration's goals with this program than like the approach. And that kind of explains a lot of what you see behind the thinking.
Anthony Salvanto always putting a fine point on the national discourse through numbers and data. Anthony, thank you.
Thank you.
There we have it. Yeah, well, listen to this.
All right, guys, so I am detained again. We are in a complete police encirclement.
Yeah,
everyone in
why.
here will be arrested. Everyone. I assume they'll let media go. I'm hearing that Karen Bass said that media is allowed to be on the streets.
I mean, they told you to stay away from the area as much as you, right? Stay away from the main crowd, and yet you're in the main crowd. Well, you're gonna get tagged too.
We've got quite a few protesters in here. A dozen or two.
I mean, they might let you out if.
All right, we're out.
But, yeah.
All right, guys. So I am detained again. We are in a complete police encirclement.
Yeah, they basically called on the loudspeaker. Hey, all the journalists, come here.
I assume they'll let media go. I'm hearing that Karen Bass said that media is allowed to be on a dozen or two. A dozen or two. It doesn't matter. You're walking the door. Two protesters in here. A dozen or two.
Yeah, there you go. Someone got got. Gotcha, bitch! Fuck around and find out exactly. Game of fuck around and find out. A song of ice and fire. Nice. A Japanese sushi restaurant was smashed up and looted as part of the ongoing leftist anti-ICE insurrection on June 9th. The far left defend looting, saying it is the language of the unheard and claim that insurance will cover the damages. Hey, that sounds like what fucking Hassan's fucking blabs about. Oh, yeah, no, the insurance companies just got to take care of it. Yeah, right. Fucking. A number of anti-ICE looters left behind iPhones at— oh shit, I'm sorry. That was bad. After looting the Apple store in downtown Los Angeles because the device alarms began blaring. The mass looting capped off a fourth day of far-left Mexican insurrection against the U.S. government. Oh yeah. Yeah, this place got hit up. Yeah, they got caught in this area and they were just like, oh shit. Yeah. As soon as they hit that place, the cops were there immediately. Cause they heard the alarm going.
Take it down! Now! You're fired.
You're fired. Yeah. Alright. Oh shit, whoops. And then we'll close it off with the deadly school shooting.
Authorities say a gunman opened
forgot there was
fire at a
another
high
one.
school in Austria, killing 9 people before taking his own life. Tina Kraus says it is the worst school shooting in the country's modern history.
Police say a 21-year-old gunman started shooting at students and teachers just a couple hours into the day at a high school in the Austrian city of Graz.
Das Einsatzkommando.
This spokesman says special forces were called in after reports of shots fired. Authorities say the attacker, a former student who didn't graduate, carried 2 guns and killed at least 9 people before taking his own life in a school bathroom.
We stand together in mourning, and while we seek clarity in the wake of this horrible event in a school.
It all unfolded in Austria's second largest city, just over 100 miles from the capital of Vienna. Shootings are rare in the region where gun ownership is tightly regulated.
Ist eine nationale Tragödie.
Austria's chancellor calls the shooting a national tragedy and says there are no words for the pain and grief the country is feeling. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
That
There you
community,
have it.
by the way, was hit by another school shooting 10 years ago this month that killed several people and scarred the city for years.
Alright, there you have it for that news segment.